Folks, it's me, Denny Carter from NBC Sports and Rotoworld, coming at you for this week one Q&A on the NFL on NBC YouTube page. Appreciate everybody joining. Do we say YouTube page? Is that what the Zoomers say this? Is it channel? Should I be saying channel? I feel like I should be saying channel. So we're going to do that from now on. I'm coming to you on a Friday at noon Eastern, the only legitimate time zone, of course. It's a Friday where we have an NFL regular season game, which is weird, but kind of awesome. And you can find it, the Packers against the Eagles in Brazil, only on Peacock tonight. So check that out. Make sure you have Peacock set up. Make sure that you help your parents get Peacock set up. I actually need to go do that in a couple hours here. I need to go to my parents' place down the road and show my dad how to work the Peacock machine. I did that twice last year. And then last night when we were watching the Chiefs-Ravens game, he came over for a few minutes and I said, hey, by the way, tomorrow the game is exclusively on Peacock. He goes, what's that? What do you mean? What's that? I was like, oh my God. Okay. Well, first of all, it's only legitimate app. First of all. Okay, Dad. And secondly, God, we've been through this. I've showed you. How do you not know? How do you not even aware of what it is? It's amazing. The boomer brain is quite amazing. Sorry, I will be sipping coffee throughout this. That's good podcasting, is what it is. I have a little thing on though. Okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna send me your questions. I'm gonna give you answers. I'm gonna try not to make it just like a rote like player A or player B, and I say player B, and then next question. That's not fun, right? I'd like to give you a little information. I'd like to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit into what I'm looking at as far as team matchups, player matchups. Speaking of that, you can find my funnel defense report on the Rotoworld homepage. It's where I look at, how teams might attack certain defenses, which teams might lean, surprisingly heavy on the run or the pass, depending on the matchup. Week one, so we're not exactly swimming in the data yet. But I took my best educated guess for that one. Thanks everybody for joining. I do appreciate that. And please make it appointment watching, Fridays at noon. All right. I wanted to just review last night, and some of the interesting usage numbers that we saw in the Ravens Chiefs game. Before I get to your questions, I'll be here for an hour, by the way. So obviously it was Isaiah Likely's season. He leads the team in targets, in receptions, in yards, scores a touchdown, almost scores a second touchdown. I actually think that his foot was not touching the line. I think it was hovering over top the line, but I guess that's not really the rule. I guess you can't really say that. So, oh well, he didn't get that second one. But let me share with you some of the stats from last night. So Mark Andrews ran a route on 75% of Lamar Jackson's dropbacks. That's pretty strong. 2/3 of those routes for Andrews were from the slot. He was targeted on a whopping 5% of those routes. Isaiah Likely, 68% route rate. So he ran a route on 68% of Jackson's dropbacks. 40% of those were from the slot. It's pretty good. It's higher than last year. And he was targeted on 34% of his routes, which is a crazy number for like an elite wide receiver. It's basically unheard of for a tight end, especially the tight end 2 on his own team. Isaiah Likely was targeted on 12.5% of his routes last year. So 34% last night, basically 12 last year. Quite the jump. And look, this comes after an offseason in which Todd Monken and John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, they said pretty often like, hey, we're going to get this guy Likely involved. he's our guy. We really like him. We like what he did last year when Mark Andrews was out. I didn't take it seriously, which is really, really unfortunate for me. I did go heavy on Mark Andrews in best ball. That's looking great. I don't think that it would be overstating it to say that as far as pass catching goes, maybe likely is the tight end one for Baltimore. I did see a lot of coping and crying online about Mark Andrews being bracket coverage, being held in to block. Not really, 75% route rate. The Chiefs defense focusing on shutting him down. I think the main thing there is they were able to easily shut him down. He wasn't part of the game. So maybe that matters. I don't know. Like, I don't have a metric for saying my bracket coverage ruined my tight end one. My brackets. Stop the brackets. I don't have I can't measure that. All I can measure the other stuff that I just mentioned, and it doesn't look great for Andrews. I mean, you're still starting him, but likely being out there so much and running from the slot, being targeted heavily, a solid A dot. I think he's in play in 12-team leagues. Yeah, exactly. Index of suspicion says my brackets. Leave my brackets alone. All right, onto the Baltimore backfield. Just a review of last night before I get to your start sit questions. Send those in, though. Please send those in. Q's and A's. I will provide the A's. I've never been wrong. Remember that, please. Remember that at all times. All right, Baltimore backfield, really ugly for Derrick Henry. He gets away with it because he scores a touchdown. Justice Hill, 55% route rates, 6 targets, third most on the team. Derrick Henry, 27% route rate, 1 target, did not catch it. It's kind of a bad throw. So, I mean, this says that, this confirms what we should have known going into the season, that if the Ravens face any sort of negative game script, then Henry's done. Like, he's not part of the game plan at all. And it's a Justice Hill game. I mean, will the Ravens be trailing much this season? I don't think so. I mean, there certainly are going to be games where they're up a touchdown, 2, 3 touchdowns, and Derrick Henry is going to run wild, okay? And it's going to be fun. I'm just saying, you know what you're getting here, and you're getting 0 pass game involvement, okay? Justice Hill, I think, should be picked up in, deeper leagues, because if anything happens to Henry, it's his backfield. Keaton Mitchell is going to miss the first month at least. And then finally over to the KC side of the ball, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy ran a route on 77% of Patrick Mahomes dropbacks. That's strong. I mean, that's really strong for Worthy as well. Yeah, I mean, the takeaway, look, Xavier Worthy's fun, scored 2 touchdowns, and that's going to happen when you're that fast. But the main takeaway for the Chiefs receivers is that Rashee Rice is easily going to catch 125 balls this year. And if you drafted him when we thought he was going to be suspended, and he was going in like the 9th round, 10th round, if you drafted him there, you win your league. Congratulations on the fantasy championship. Rashee Rice last night targeted on 37.5% of his routes. That is wild. So there you go. The backfield for the Chiefs. We have to remember, Samaje Perine, this is his first game with the team. He's only been there a week. Pacheco ran 70% of the routes. Perine ran 27% of the routes. 3 targets for Pacheco, 2 targets for Perine. Perine was this close to catching one that would have been a touchdown. It would have been a walk-in touchdown from like 30 yards out. Nevertheless, we persist. Pacheco played. So here's a stat from Nathan Yonke from Pro Football Focus. Last year, Pacheco played in 23% of 2-minute drill snaps with McKinnon, with Jerick McKinnon in the lineup or on the roster, and then 66% without. So this is the overarching concern for Pacheco, is that Perine will eventually take over that McKinnon role, which we love. We love our McKinnon role, folks. and that'll limit his pass catching. Is he going to get away with it? Probably. So anyway, that's your review of last night. I hope that helped clarify some things. Apparently, it is likely season. The Gremlin Brotherhood is in the chat. Thank you, Gremlin, for joining us. I'll start here. It says, I have a question that only an absolute sick human being like yourself could answer. It's Trevor Lawrence, man. Look, I was looking forward to this. So on yesterday's Rotoworld football show, and you can check that out wherever podcasts are sold, and then of course on the NFL and NBC YouTube channel, we did our week 1 preview with me, Kyle, and Pat, and I think it went really well. I think we got a lot of good stuff in there. I wasn't able to put everything in there because we were kind of hurried near the end, but let me read you something about the new Dolphins defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver. Last time he was a defensive coordinator in Houston, he played press coverage at one of the NFL's highest rates. That shouldn't go well for covering Brian Thomas, who destroyed press coverage in his final collegiate season. Anthony Weaver's, again, this is the Dolphins defensive coordinator. Anthony Weaver's Texans defense back in 2020, as graded by Pro Football Focus, 4th worst coverage unit, dead last in run defense, 7th worst in pass rush grade. The 2020 Texans, Weaver's Texans, had the 7th highest blitz rate and the 5th lowest pressure rate. So they blitzed a lot and they didn't get there. The Dolphins are going to be without some key members of their defense, including possibly Jalen Ramsey, including Chubb. They lost a lot of defensive talent in the offseason. This is not going to be the same Dolphins team we saw last year that was able to just basically take the air out of the ball once they got up 2-3 touchdowns. I think they're going to be chasing points a lot. I think they're going to be more fast-paced. I think they're going to be more pass-heavy. You're starting your Jags. This has shootout written all over it. You got to play. Anyway, that's my long way of saying Trevor Lawrence. You're playing Trevor Lawrence over Herbert. Well, I talked a few minutes ago, if you want to rewind the tape, about Mark Andrews' usage. It's probably not over. Okay. Oh, hey, we have Amplified to Rock, my buddy. He says that Jalen Ramsey just signed a new contract extension and may have miraculously healed his hamstring. And you know what? That actually is science. Money does heal a hamstring. So maybe I'm off there by saying Ramsey won't play. T-Law over Dak. Yes. Hello, DJ. My boy, DJ McConnell. Yeah. To me, look, I'm just telling you how I see this Browns Cowboys game. I see it as an absolute tear down the franchise moment for the Cowboys. Total disarray going into the season. Nobody wants to be there. Okay, come on. I mean, Dak doesn't want to be there. CeeDee Lamb certainly doesn't want to be there. Okay, that defense stinks. It just stinks. I mean, unless they're making like 3 pick sixes in a game, they stink. The Browns are going to romp, and I guess Dak could have some volume on his side. It's a bad matchup. It's T-Law for me. Let's see. Will Ingram be the most targeted tight end in the NFL? I don't think so. That was a little bit fluky. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. All right, let's see. Bandit, my boy, is in the chat. Perhaps Mark Andrews being involved in a serious car accident a few weeks ago factored in. Yeah, I mean, hey, that sounds awful. So hopefully he's okay. Here's a In the Mood for Love. Jordan Love, perhaps, who you can watch tonight exclusively on Peacock as he plays against the Eagles. Should I keep Rico Dowdle stashed on the bench or pick up a higher upside swing like Jalen Wright? Well, look, it's hard to say because I don't know who your running backs are. I would want Dowdle. Okay, look, the Shanahan system, which obviously Mike McDaniel runs, it treasures system knowers. You gotta know the system, brother. And Raheem Mostert knows the dang system. And you know who else knows the system? Jeff Wilson, who, yes, is still in the league and is still being shuffled between teams that run the Shanahan scheme. He is a system knower. I actually think that Jeff Wilson would slot in more than Jalen Wright if something happens to Achane or Mostert. I know. Look, I don't want to say it. You don't want to hear it. It stinks. But whatever. Romeo Dobbs or Keenan Allen? I'd go Keenan. I would go Keenan. Oh, my what is the new office? No, it's not a new office setup. It's the same old one I've had since like 2021. Yeah, Bandit, another question here. Is Trey McBride top tight end this week? He lists some things. Yes, the answer is yes. Yes. Bills play 2 high safeties. The safeties are too dang high. Okay? Last night, the Chiefs safeties were 80 yards off the line of scrimmage the entire game. With the bracket. My 2 high safeties, it was ruining my life. Anyway, yeah, Bills play 2 high safeties. Their best safeties out. McBride's going to, as the Zoomers say, eat against Buffalo. Someone asks how much fab for likely. I don't go nuts. That's what I would say. I would say Jordan Love. The Atlanta Pittsburgh game is going to be ugly, so no, thank you. I would go with Watson over McLaurin. Yeah, I think so. There's reason to believe that Jordan Love will be operating from a pretty clean pocket tonight. And as I mentioned on the Rotoworld football show on Thursday, in a clean pocket, he threw downfield at the 9th highest rate last year. So that could mean a few shots to Christian Watson, whose hamstrings are healed. He went to the lab once and healed his hamstrings. So we are happy for Christian Watson. Jackson, excuse me, trying not to burp on air. It's great. That's good podcast. We're broadcasting. We're professionals. I'm a professional. Excuse me. I have Cooper Kupp and Puka on the same team. Do I need to trade one? It's viable. You're good. You're good. Just roll with it. It's not something I would do, but maybe Cooper Kupp fell or something, or maybe Puka fell. So there you go. Oh, I saw a question here. Neighbors. Oh no, we're back to the questions where you guys list 45 players. Okay, pick 2. I would go with Neighbors for sure. I might go Diggs. I feel like the Texans are gonna shred this Colts defense. So yeah, Diggs and Neighbors. Ugh. All right, let's get to some of your other questions here. DJ McConnell, as a Cowboys fan, the offseason I devolved into trade everyone. Yeah. Good luck, brother. It's time for what's important. What is your kicker of the week? Yeah, I wrote up kickers in for Kyle Dvorchak's waiver wire column. Blake Groupie of the Saints is a good play. I mean, you're just trying to find kickers who will have game script on their side, who will be attached to offenses that'll have the lead or at least be kind of even with their opponent, because we want our kickers being able to attempt kicks late in the game, right? We don't want our kickers or our teams to forego field goal attempts in order to chase touchdowns late in games. That's how you kind of undercut your kicker's upside. So like Cairo Santos, I'm trying to think of some other guys. I'm struggling here, but anyway, it's on Rotoworld. Santos is a good play. The Bucks kicker is a McLaughlin. He's a good play as well. Caleb Williams or Purdy this week. Purdy's matchup is pretty ugly, and I think everything points to Caleb just absolutely cooking the Titans. Titans are real bad on defense, real bad. I like this game to be pretty high scoring, so I actually would go Caleb. My IKEA bookshelves. How do you don't know me? You don't know that these are IKEA. I could have gotten these at a local yard sale. They could have been in somebody's library since 1962, and I just brought it here. No, of course I got it at IKEA. What can you do? It only took me 8 hours to put together. I would go with Goddard over Henry. Scary as in Terry, I suppose. Ford or I would actually consider Jerome Ford there. So part of, look, if I think that the Browns are going to win handily against the Cowboys, then I think that the Browns are going to be in position to establish it, right? Especially once they have a lead. And Jerome Ford appears to be the main guy in that backfield. And the Cowboys' rush defense was real bad in the second half of last year. It was basically bad when teams could actually try to run against them. Because remember, they were running away and hiding early in the year, right? The Cowboys were. And so no Cowboys opponent was able to actually try to run the ball. But once they were able to, and we saw what happened, most memorably, when Aaron Jones looked like prime Barry Sanders in that playoff game, that destruction of the Cowboys. I'm big on Jerome Ford this week. If you guys are struggling to figure out, how to play it there. Jay is in the chat. Are we waiting to make sure Jaden Daniels doesn't get snapped in half before starting him? Well, I would play Daniels over Jordan Love. I'm excited about Daniels. I've talked about it a lot on the Rotoworld Football Show. I'm going to get to more questions here. Brian Robinson, Zamir White, or Chris Godwin. Man, the Washington secondary is going to stink. I mean, they're going to be real bad. So I would lean Godwin. I don't think Washington's going to be in a position to really give the ball much to Brian Robinson. So I'm kind of fading him this week. Okay. Two receivers here. Metcalf for sure. And then I want to say Brian Thomas so bad. I can't. London. You sometimes you just gotta choose the guy who's going to see 10 targets, and that's London. All right, Rush Lord's back in the chat. What is a dirty pocket? Is that where there's a lot of lint and stuff? Yes, exactly. You could check my pocket right now. It's disgusting. After last night, would you rather have Taysom, Ferguson, or Likely the rest of the season? Ferguson, I think. Ferguson. Blake Corum or Jalen Allen? If I have Breece Hall. No, you're thinking Braylon Allen. Sorry. Yeah. If you have Breece Hall in Dynasty, I mean, I don't know. I think Corum, you'd want him there. I don't think you need to be scared and get the backup for Breece Hall. Excuse me. Julian is in the chat. T-Law, Stafford, Caleb, or Fields if Russ doesn't go this week. Yeah. It's pretty funny that Russ was named the starter, yet he probably won't start week 1. It sure is curious, and it's real good news for my best ball teams. We love our Justin Fields. This is tough. This is crazy, actually. Like, all these guys are really good starts. Gosh, I'd go with Trevor Lawrence. I think this Dolphins defense is going to be worse than anybody thinks. Jay Western, start Tyreek Hill or Dontavian Wicks. Well, I have to look at my spreadsheet for that one. No, of course Tyreek. Brian Thomas or JSN, non-PPR. I guess you go with Thomas then. Yes, right. Yes, I did. I went to the biggest Swedish yard sale on earth, and I got this bookshelf. Obviously. I did not add wood glue, by the way, index of suspicion. Is Ray Davis going to be a thing? Probably not. I liked James Conner. I wrote James Cook. I wrote James Cook up in the final defense report. Teams really last year leaned hard on the run against Arizona. I expect pretty much the same approach this year. And Joe Brady likes to run the ball. I wrote about this back in July, how like Joe Brady made this Bills offense a run first unit. And Bills fans got so worked up about it. Man, I've never seen anything like it. I was like, this offensive coordinator likes to run the ball, and they were pretty good at it. And they were like, how dare you, first of all? Why would you say that? And I think what happened was they took it as an indictment of Josh Allen, that you can't do a pass-first offense with Josh Allen. I guess that's how they interpreted it. That's not what I was saying. Josh Allen was crazy for fantasy anyway. Who cares? But yeah, I mean, they are. They're run first. Ray Davis, I think, would need a James Cook injury. We can't have that. Would you start Jameson Williams or Khalil Shakir? I actually would start Jameson. I think Jameson, again, check out the Rotoworld football show from Thursday. It's a really good episode. I had a lot on Jameson Williams. Last year in 3 playoff games, 76% route rate. That means he ran a pass route on 76% of the Detroit dropbacks. He wasn't targeted that much, but whatever. What can you do? All right. I like him. I like him this week a lot. Panic and sell low on Andrews or sell. I mean, I don't like. Do your league mates trade? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, is somebody out there like, oh yeah, I got to get Likely now? I feel like people are too savvy for that, right? I mean, 10 years ago, you could have got away with that. You could have landed like, Josh Allen for Isaiah Likely today because everybody saw Likely go bananas last night on NBC. Which reminds me, check out Peacock tonight for the first ever game in Brazil. Eagles and what's the other team? Packers. Eagles, Packers. Apparently, lots of Packers fans in Brazil. This is what I'm being told. This is what I'm hearing through my sources. So that'll be fun. Let's see. Cris Sales in the chat. Hello, Cris. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you. I want to trade for a wide receiver. You guys love your trades. I have Nico and Tank starting with Mooney on the bench. My running backs. Well, you're going to have to part with somebody pretty big there. So wait. Your starting receivers are Nico Collins and Tank Dell? Wow. I don't know. I mean, you can't. No one wants Eckler. No one wants Mostert. No one wants Moss. It's got to be Bijan Robinson or David Montgomery. So those are the two that I would say. But oof, tough stuff. Let's see. Jared says I have Anthony Richardson. So starting. Oh, I don't know about that. No. Don't do that. You're not. This is not DFS, brother. You're not trying to take down a tournament with 45,000 people in it. Okay. I mean, that would make sense. Stacking Richardson with AD Mitchell as your second flex. I would recommend not doing that in redraft because you want points. So, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, if you want to go with it. And if the analytics in your gut tell you to do that, then you go ahead and do that. I'm not, that's your constitutional right. I can't infringe upon that as much as I would like to, and I will try. But Deontay Johnson would be the play. Brian Robinson would be much better. I mean, Zamir White's a boring early down guy who might score a touchdown here and there. All right. In a super flex, I'm thinking of starting Darnold. I mean, that's reasonable. Yeah, right. The sore arm, the issues with everything with Watson. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think Darnold over Watson makes sense. Here's a stat for you. So Kevin O'Connell likes to talk. He hit the weight room once this year, and since then he's been talking about establishing the run. This is what coaches do. Every coach has like 8-pack abs. They have like pecs out to here. They have like massive triceps walking around in their like fitted team t-shirt, right? Every coach is like that. And I should say every young coach is like that. And so they take on this persona. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna play defense. They're not. No, they're not. Okay, Kevin O'Connell's not gonna run the ball. Vikings had a drop back rate over expected last year in 15 to 17 games. That included every single game with Nick Mullins. So they're going to pass a lot here. And the Giants secondary is looking a little suspect. So that does make sense. All right. I traded Njoku and Jordan Mason for Andrews and Ray Davis. You got the bad side of that. I am sorry to report. I wish I could tell you something different. Why do you like Diggs over London? Right. It's just an ugly game. This Steelers Falcons. I think the Colts Texans game environment is good. I think we're underselling the potential for Stefon Diggs to be the clear wide receiver one here in Houston. Not necessarily because he's good, but because that's who he is. And he comes with this reputation as being the guy. And he wouldn't have signed with the Texans if he wasn't going to be the guy. Okay, that's what matters to Stefon Diggs. And so it's close. Look, if you play London over Diggs, that's fine. I think both of them should be okay, but I like Diggs' spot a little more is what I should say. Best stash. I think Mason probably. Mason, yeah. Andrew, non-PPR, Aaron Jones or Mostert. I decided to play Rasheed over Jones last night. Oh, hey. That's great, man. Good job. Aaron Jones or Mostert. I'd go no, I'd go Jones. I'd go Aaron Jones. Okay. Don't look for updates. Don't look for updates on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Thank you. Jonathan Santiago, is there a different chat for questions because mine seem to be getting skipped over? Different chat for questions. Nope. I'm looking for you. Jonathan, there you go. Full PPR, Devontae Smith or Ayuk. I have Hurts. I actually would go with Devontae this week. It's a rough matchup for Ayuk. I mean, it's fine either way, but I like Devontae. So Jonathan, did I miss any others of yours? Look, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, as the Zoomers say. Okay, Jonathan, man, you wanted that question answered, brother, and you got it. The wheel was squeaking. We're looking powerfully into the squeaking wheel. Jaden Reed or Ramondre Stevenson. Standard. Yikes. Yeah, I actually go with Stevenson. So here's a thing on the Bengals. Last year, the Bengals allowed the second highest yards before contact per rush. That is a stat that pretty closely correlates with big runs. The Cincinnati defense allowed the fifth highest explosive rush rate. And I think that the goal will be to feed Stevenson. So he could see kind of shocking volume here. Tucker, when you draft Rashee Rice, but also Mark Andrews, should I feel more happy about Rice or more discouraged due to Andrews? I mean, it happens. Look, we play this game. I've been playing this game a long, long time, okay? Since the 60s. And I will say that I've had a lot of stinkers in week one, okay? I had Travis Kelce in a couple of like my most important leagues, and he decided not to play last night. And I kind of knew that would happen because, come on. I mean, Travis Kelce doesn't actually try until like Christmas. Too old. He's too old for that. He ain't reading all that. So it happens. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You got 10 million points from Rashee Rice. Thoughts on Fields? Justin Fields may get the start. Have Daniels and Caleb for a 2 QB league, I guess. I would start Daniels and Caleb myself. But, this is I was trying to tell anybody who would listen in August, you got to take Justin Fields late in drafts. Even in some one quarterback formats, you got to take him because this guy is the most explosive running quarterback in the league right now. Okay. So he should not have gone undrafted in any format, I don't think. Because if he gets in there, he's instantly an elite fantasy option. Real football, I don't know. Every time I comment on one of Justin Fields' throws, I'm told by 800 film watchers that actually it was the greatest throw of all time. and it just happened to sail out of the back of the end zone because the receiver was not able to jump 4 feet in the air. So that I'm done commenting on Justin Fields' throws because apparently they're all perfect. Jonathan, Fields or Daniels? Again, I think Daniels is the right play. Need 2, Jaden Reed, Ayuk. I would go Ayuk and Godwin. Let's see, 10-team PPR. So you're going Trevor Lawrence. You're going Josh Jacobs, who's going to see 100 carries tonight. The Eagles are going to play so much too high safety. It's going to make you sick. We're going to be dry heaving over the number of plays these guys run 2 high safeties, and they're just going to give Josh Jacobs the ball. He's going to be facing favorable fronts. I like his prospects tonight. Is he good? I don't know. Thankfully, it doesn't matter. So, man, this is really complicated. Okay, play White, play Jacobs, play Tyreek, play Smith, play Moore, play Ingram. I hope that helped. All right. Tank Dell or Calvin Ridley. This is hard because, okay, Tank Dell's in a situation where I think he's going to run like 60 or 70% of the routes. He might see like 6 targets or something. He could score 2 touchdowns on those. I think Calvin Ridley is the safer bet. And I encourage you actually to read through the funnel defense report, which you can find on rotoworld.com. I talked about why I think the Titans are going to drop back a lot this week against Chicago, and that should be a good thing for Calvin Ridley. So I would lean Ridley. Oh, you mistyped that. I traded away Njoku and Mason, received Andrews and Davis. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I understood. Listen, I don't think you got the good side of that trade. It's not terrible, but you didn't get the good side. Goddard over Conk Daddy. I don't like saying it, but that's his name. Hail. Terry or Tank? I would go with Tank. Half PPR, McLaurin or Watson. Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm out on Terry McLaurin. Could be wrong. It would be the first time. Swole Lawrence. Oh, did Lawrence get swole? Did he get swelled up? Did he finally gain a little weight? Because man, that guy's skinny. I'm not jealous. You're jealous. Or skinny Tua. This is hard because it's going to go back and forth. I don't know. I actually would go Tua. I do think Tua is the play there. I like Tua this year. I didn't like him last year. Too, rotund. But now we're cooking with oil. I'm. It's not just a joke. I mean, there is something to it. Let me read you this. Let me read you this quote from a source told Fox Sports back in May about Tua's weight loss and what it means for the team. It says, quote, I think just being more twitchy and elusive in the pocket. He will never be a runner, but it's about extending plays a little more. It's a delicate balance because he needs to stay healthy. He was not able to extend any sort of play last year, I think because of, how he was physically. I think that changes. I think that changes everything in this Dolphins offense, which is going to be chasing points a lot this year. I'd go with Tua. Scotty, Devontae Smith or Jerome Ford. You go with Devontae there. Which is Christian recede into the shadow of Romeo Dobbs. I don't know, but I would play Watson over him. I go with. You know what? I know. I'm going with Bo Nix. Go with Bo Nix. He should actually have to throw a lot here. I think I kind of like that Seahawks-Broncos game. Pick one. Then I would go with Neighbors, I guess. Yes. John Churchill in the chat. I need to start 2 between DJ Moore, Tank, and Watson. I'm all in on Watson this year, but not sure. Doesn't sound like you're all in. That's what it sounds like to me. Excuse me. DJ Moore for sure. It's really hard. I mean, both of these guys are so explosive. They either of them could have like a 40-point fantasy game in any given week. I guess I would lean Watson. for tonight. Godspeed. Sorry to get religious. Is it possible none of the Cowboys running backs are actually good? Yeah, it's possible. I think it's possible this backfield devolves into a 3-man timeshare, and that would stink. All right, let's get down here. Rest of the season, Jaden Daniels. Look, Cliff Kingsbury, his offenses run fast. He runs a lot of plays. I think we're regularly going to see Jaden Daniels logging like 10 plus rushes in this offense. We know how that goes. That tends to break the fantasy game when a quarterback is regularly going for 70, 80, 90, 100 yards. Lamar went over 100, I think, last night on the ground. That breaks the game. I'm not saying I'm out on Fields. I just told you that I really like him, but I think you go with I think you go with Jaden Daniels. All right, yeah. So someone says they picked up the Rams kicker, whose name I can't remember right now. But somebody tell me the Rams kicker's name. I wrote him up during the summer. What I would say is, like I said, you want kickers on teams that are favored, and the Rams are underdogs on the road. So it doesn't exactly fit the process, but I think you'll be okay. Oh, an update. Oh, we got an update from Chris Sales. I propose to trade away Montgomery to receive Marvin Good. To receive Marv. Marvin Harrison. Good trade if accepted. Yeah. It would. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So drop. I mean, look, if you're good at receiver, you drop Palmer and get Fields. I'm getting Fields on my Jaden Daniels teams too, just so you know. I go with Tua over Burrow. Non-PPR. You guys got to get into PPR. Come on. I got to radicalize you. It's so much more fun. There are more points scored. More guys are relevant in a given week. It makes it more of a game. We love our games. Right. The Rams kicker's name is Cardi, which he should be okay. Jalen Warren or Eckler. I think Warren. Make sure he's okay. Make sure he's going to play. I would go Roshan. I just don't see Carson Steele like having a reliable role at any point. Let me see some of the ones I missed here. We have about 17 minutes left in this stream. Let me reset. I'm Denny Carter from NBC Sports and Rotoworld. Thank you for joining me for this week 1 Q&A. I'm trying to get through your questions. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them. We are looking powerfully into getting through all of them, but I will try. You can check out my work at Rotoworld. You can follow me at CDCarter13 on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. I'm also on Threads at CDCarter13 for the Threads folks. The algorithm machine, the algorithm void that we call Threads. Let's see. I talked earlier about the Chiefs-Ravens usage last night, and I saw some comments saying you can't make any determination off of last night. And I would caution against that, because this is not baseball, this is not basketball, okay, not hockey. I'm going to list 10 other. This is not tennis. This is not golf. It's not racquetball. This is not cricket. This is not skateboarding. What I mean is, we work with limited sample sizes in football because they only play once a week. And so if you see week 1 data and you go, doesn't mean anything, I want to wait. I got to wait. I think that overall is probably a mistake, right? I think that you can do better than that. Okay. You can see, okay, Isaiah Likely was targeted on 34% of his routes. That's not going to hold up. But what if they actually are going to feature him? What if Lamar Jackson sees him as, I don't know, a de facto wide receiver 2 behind Flowers, as the best downfield option because Bateman's not good and Aguilar's washed and Andrews is, he's in a car accident. He's coming off a horrific ankle injury off a hip drop tackle. So what if likely is truly a thing in this offense? I don't think you can dismiss that. And if he is, then that hurts Andrews. I'm sorry, it does. It does. No one wants to hear that. I get it. Roma Dunze of the Bears, thank you. Or Cortland Sutton. I love, you know what, Matthew, I appreciate you putting the whole player's name and the teams they play for, because I get questions where, like earlier, scary. Do I play scary? I mean, because I know football, because I'm obsessed and I do this for my job, I know it's scary Terry McLaurin. But, a little specificity would be nice. Okay. So I think it's Cortland Sutton. Roma Dunze, I think, could go ballistic here, but he's probably a very volatile play. I don't know, he might run like half the route, something like that. But he is going to be the downfield guy for Caleb Williams, and they seem to have a rapport. So, but I would lean Sutton for this week. All right, Tony Pollard or Brian Robinson. I got a bug in my face. Come on, man. I'm doing a stream, mosquito. Okay, I would go Ford over Montgomery. I talked earlier, if you want to check it out, about why I like Ford so much. And then I would lean. Gosh darn. I would lean Pollard. Look, Pollard looked way better, and the nerdy running back metrics, I won't bore you, but they were way better for Tony Pollard in the final 6 or 8 weeks of last year and into the playoffs. Yes. Than they were early in the season, because he was coming off a broken leg. I just want to say that when I raised this issue in the summer of 2023, when I said, are we concerned at all that this guy's leg snapped in half in front of a national audience in a playoff game against the 49ers 6 months ago, I was told, no one's worried. Why would you be worried? It's a broken leg. It has nothing to do with tendons. We don't care about broken legs. Well, sick brag here. I talked with Tony Pollard at the Super Bowl along with Pat Doherty of the Rotoworld Football Show, and he told us, yeah, I wasn't right. I wasn't right the first half of last year. I wasn't right until late November. All right. So if he gets back to 2022 Tony Pollard, yeah, he's gonna be one of the best draft picks in fantasy. All right. That's enough of me. Jared Goff over Rodgers. Rodgers, it's a tough spot. We're hoping for the best. Waddle or Pittman. I'd go with Pittman. I think Pittman could see kind of a crazy target share here. Need one of Chase Brown. Okay, so it's ugly. PPR. Okay, it's between Hubbard and McLaughlin. I wrote up Hubbard in the funnel defense report. Definitely between those two. I do think that the Broncos will probably be chasing here. I think McLaughlin profiles as the guy who will be running most of the routes, not all the routes out of the backfield, but most. And he's good after the catch. McLaughlin, I don't know, he could easily see 7-8 targets here. So I would lean his way. It's your call though, brother. I'd go Metcalf over Chris Godwin. No, I want to say it's not volleyball. It's not beach volleyball, nor is it indoor volleyball. It's football. Okay. Okay, well, there we go. Let's see. Do I trade Kyron and Adams for Chase and James Cook? Kyron and Adams for Chase. Yeah, I actually would do that. I'm sorry, I got to get some more here. I don't have time to explain. Just take my word for it. Remember, I've never been wrong. Joseph in the chat. Hello, Joseph. Better bench stash. It's McMillan. McMillan is the better bench stash. McMillan could be really, really something if Evans or Godwin miss time this year. Until then, I don't know, but I do think that McMillan is the play. Sorry, I'm distracted. There's some crazy comments, folks. Tommy in the chat, Geno Smith or Rodgers. Geno, look, the people are not prepared for Geno. Geno's going to cook. in this Ryan Grubb offense. He's going to start this week. And you need to get him in your lineups as super flex or whatever, okay? He's a way, way better player than Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, there you go. Super flex. Oh, no. Kyler, Harrison, Connors. Okay. Should I swap them out this week for Ridley, Carr, not Carr. No. No. Just go with it. That Cardinals Bills game could be fun. Could be fun for fantasy. See, I don't know what that means. Yoshi or Keon. I'm sorry. Like I don't know who Yoshi is. I mean, I know he's the green dinosaur from Mario. Oh, the Bengals receiver. Okay. All right. I go with Keon Coleman. He's going to be involved a lot in the red zone too. I'll go with Deontay, just from a volume perspective. All right. I think I actually hit a lot of the questions here. We had 10 more minutes. I wanted to share with you some fun data. Of course, this is from last year, so take it with a grain of salt, and things change and whatever. So yards before contact per rush is something I mentioned earlier as a key stat that correlates pretty closely with long runs. It correlates with bad rush defenses, okay? So I mentioned the Bengals were actually had the highest yards before contact per attempt last year at 1.91. The Cardinals were third at 1.88. Some other teams I wanted to mention: Broncos were fourth at 1.8 yards before contact per attempt. The Broncos defense is really bad. I think we're kind of underrating that. So Ken Walker needs to be in lineups. I know. I mean, if you drafted him, you're starting him. But however that needs to happen, you got to get him in your lineup. And then I wanted another point in Jerome Ford's corner is Dallas had the 8th highest yards before contact per attempt last year. They're actually top 5 in the second half of the season. So that's good for Jerome, our guy. Some teams that were really stingy in that area, the Texans were dead last in yards before contact per attempt, meaning they really stuffed the run. So I don't think Jonathan Taylor's in a very good spot here. The Browns were second best in that category. That's why I actually think you just need to abandon all hope for the Cowboys backfield this week. You know, it happens. Jets and Niners were elite in this category. And the Lions were pretty good in this too. So just kind of file that away as you decide who to play this week. All right, folks, we have 7 minutes. Taysom or Freiermuth rest of the season. I mean, considering that Freiermuth is probably not a full-time player in this offense for whatever reason, let's not question it. Let's not get mad. Okay, Arthur Smith already, lives rent-free in our brains. Okay, it's a good deal for him, bad deal for us. Let's not question it. Let's just go with Taysom. Who, by the way, in 20 preseason snaps, Taysom lined up in the backfield 9 times. And, I mean, could legit serve as the goal line back for the Saints to start the season, which is crazy. But, again, do not question, only react. I'm streaming the Bengals defense, and I'm scared. No. I wouldn't be scared. I mean, look, you still get... They're going to sack Jacoby Brissett, who is a statue, okay? Might get a turnover or 3. You got to play him if you have him. Christian Kirk, Wicks, or Curtis Samuel. I think I would go with Kirk in that good offensive environment. Can Roma Dunze be trusted? I think it depends on your league. Like if you're in a 12-team league with like 2 or 3 flex spots, then yeah, you should get a Dunze in there. I have him in a 14-team league with 2 flex spots where you're just dying to like get anybody viable in there sometimes. And I feel really good about Odunze as a flex play in that format. But I'm not saying I wouldn't jam him over Deontay Johnson. I wouldn't jam him over trying to think Jalen Waddle or something, right? I play Brian Thomas over him this week, okay? So don't get ahead of yourself, okay? The one rule of this stream, folks, okay, and I hope you can join me throughout the NFL season. I'm gonna spit. I may have actually spit. At noon on Fridays, noon Eastern time, you can join me here on NFL and NBC YouTube channel. The one rule is that we don't get too cute, okay? You can get a little cute. I do not want you getting too cute with your lineups, okay? It's the road to hell. Trust me. Okay, I've done this. All right. Exactly. Trina knows we do not get cute. Well, I should say you get a little cute. Yeah, so, I'm telling you to get a little cute on Jerome Ford. Okay, just a little. If you talk in this voice, it's just a little cute. But we're not gonna get big cute. All right, we're not gonna let's not get crazy. All right, is JSN coming out party season this week? Yes, I'm gonna say yes. I put Worthy in my flex in most leagues. He won me the week already. Did he? He scored like 19 fantasy points. Man, you must be new to fantasy, brother, because I mean, how many times have you had, I'll speak for myself. How many times have I had a guy score 30, 40 fantasy points on Thursday night, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm locked in. Instant W. The week is over. And then on Sunday night, I'm dry heaving because I lost by 30. So don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch. Don't count the eggs. Don't count is what I'm saying. There you go. Yeah, right. I knocked the excess cute off of you last year, and you won. Yes, because you weren't too dang cute. The safeties are too high, and the lineups are too cute. Got AR-15. Should I trade Caleb and Bowers for McBride? Yeah. Yeah. Chris Sales. I mean, the Saints are a good play. I actually, gosh darn, I actually would go with the Bucks there. There you go. So 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. Who to flex? Marvin Harrison Jr. I like how that's all one word. Or Montgomery. I'd go with Montgomery. This is really hard to read. I'd go with Cook and Achane. I'm sorry. And then go with Goff. Goff is in a great spot. Lions have the highest implied total of the week. Let's go. No. I'm not. No, Diggs over London is not too cute. It's a little cute. Okay, but it's not too. It's not too cute. Okay. All right. Any others? I got to go. Texans or Seahawks? I'd go with the Seahawks because they're at home, basically. Jamar Chase, a safe start. No, I don't really like him this week, but you got to start him. Did I miss any? Yeah, Jamar Chase. Just keep an eye on that. Malik Washington or Jermaine. Well, Jermaine Burton's not going to play probably. Jermaine Burton. The Bengals have said this guy doesn't have it. Like whatever it is, he doesn't have it. He's falling asleep in meetings. He's not paying attention. He's not reading the playbook. Joe Burrow's calling him out publicly. It's ugly for Burton right now. So Burton is zero fantasy potential for this year. I guess Malik Washington, but I think he's dealing with some sort of injury. I do like Malik Washington. Super underrated profile coming out of college. All right, folks, that'll do it. I'm Denny Carter. You can find me at CDCarter13 on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. Join me every Friday at noon Eastern here. And thanks for joining this week. Good luck to you and only you this week.